May 24th, 2022, Fairfield Town Plan Zoning Commission meeting. Let's jump right into it. Meeting minutes from our last meeting, May 10th, 2022. May I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Move to approve from Commissioner Francis.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Raymond. Any comments?
They seem fine.
Great.
We have everybody here, right, online, except for Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Okay, so any other comments from commission members? Put it to a vote. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Okay, passes unanimously. It was an affirmative vote, Commissioner Braun?
Pardon me?
Did you vote in the affirmative?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed it. Moving on to old business, 236 Commerce Drive, special exception of and coastal site plan application of Frank Pepe Development Company LLC pertaining to a new one-story building for takeout in the Design Industrial District. Mr. Wendt, or?
I actually had to make, I wanted to make a, before this
Sure, go.
item was taken, I just wanted to have a moment of personal privilege.
Yes.
I just wanted to commend the RTM who voted affirmatively of our parking regulations and the ADU statements that we made a few months ago. I just wanted to acknowledge the RTM for doing that. I know many of us wrote the RTM last night, and I think it's important to have that affirmative motion. So I just want to acknowledge them.
No, I think that's fair. Thank you.
And I wholeheartedly concur.
Yeah, we had a positive outcome, 37-3.
37-3, and I think, you know, the letters in support that you folks presented to them, I think, was compelling, and the fact that it was a unanimous vote of this commission both times, I think was helpful to the RTM, because that question was asked of me by a member. Was it a unanimous vote of TPZ? I said, yes, it was. So yes, I agree. It was a good outcome.
No, thank you to the commissioners who sent letters, Mr. Wendt and staff for submitting and presenting as well. If we can help with bipartisanship, at least from this commission to them, that's always helpful. But it was important, and we got a good outcome. Any other comments for the RTM? Okay. So I went through the first item, Mr. Wendt.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, with respect to 236 Commerce Drive, Pepe's is seeking to construct a one-story addition to house an additional pizza oven, which will allow them to separate their takeout business from their dine-in business. Separate structure is proposed because the existing building's in a flood zone, and the cost of improvements, if this were an addition rather than a standalone building, would require them to fill their existing basement. A variance from the required street setback was granted by the Zoning Board of Appeals back in March. Actually March of 2021. The number of parking spaces is compliant with the regulations. There was a question raised during the public hearing as to whether one of the handicap spaces ought to be relocated more proximate to the ramp for the for the takeout facility. This is the building department jurisdictional matter. I did confer with the building official, and they did agree that there should be a space proximate to the entry. I did communicate that with the applicant, and as they stated at the meeting, they can certainly modify their site plan to take one of those two handicap spaces near the front and move it down several spaces to where that ramp is. They will lose one parking space by doing that, but they have one for the good, so that can be accommodated. The proposal does not raise any coastal management policy concerns. The applicant has made accommodation to allow for the required compensatory storage for floodwater, as was discussed during the hearing. The considerations for a special permit are found in section 25.7.7. Is the development shown on the plan such characters to harmonize with the neighborhood, to accomplish the transition in character between areas of unlike character, protect property values in the neighborhood, preserve and enhance the appearance and beauty of the community, and to avoid undue traffic congestion. That is all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Watt. May I have a motion on this item? Commissioner Harrison?
Yeah, I'd like to absolutely support this motion, to support this application. I think this business has adjusted to the new business model, to what we're seeing in this new post-COVID world. And plus size Fairfield is becoming, a restaurant destination, and that in turn really is a boom to other other businesses in town. I don't think the structure creates any hindrance on the neighborhood. I don't think it creates a public safety or health issue, nor a traffic issue. So I'm really in favor of this, and I hope the other commissioners support that.
Commissioner Braun, I think you seconded.
Seconded, yeah. I support that also. It's an excellent location for a restaurant. That whole part of town could use more restaurants. I agree with Commissioner Harrison that it will help support other businesses as well. It doesn't have any wetlands or coastal site issues, and it does not appear to create any kind of parking or traffic issues. So I definitely wholeheartedly support it.
Commissioner Bramman.
I agree with the comments, and I support the application. The use is a good use of the space. Obviously, Pepe's is a beloved institution in town. The new structure will allow them to serve more customers more efficiently, which is good for everybody. And I was very satisfied with all of the applicants' answers and their team's answers to our commission's questions about pedestrian and automobile flow on the site with the new building. So I see no issues, and I think it's going to be a good thing.
Any other commissioners? Yeah, easy to echo the comments. I also support it. The application is just an expansion of an existing business in a good way as far as separating out the takeout to make it more efficient on site. Harmonizes with the neighborhood, is an existing site, so it doesn't really affect the transition character between unlike areas. Shouldn't affect property values. I don't expect to have any issues with enhancing the appearance and beauty of the community, but the efficiency of their business should certainly help. As with traffic congestion, I suspect it will only help with the efficiency that it will provide. So for all those reasons, I support the application as well. With the Mr. Wendt, with the building department's comments, do we need a condition of approval, or are we they're going to enforce it? It sounds like as it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. I think that will take place certainly at the time they pull a building permit, but if you want to, and I don't know that it would be harmful to make it a condition of approval, but that's entirely up to you.
Okay.
But you mean the commission.
I suspect if it's not a condition of approval, it will happen anyways.
Yes.
Okay, so for that reason, I don't think we really, need that. Commissioner Francis.
They will still have the 2 handicap parking spaces?
Yes, they're just going to separate the two and move one down to where the ramp is for the proposed takeout facility.
So there will be ramp access without
Yes.
I'm having trouble hearing, I'm sorry. No, I just was checking, they're still having 2 handicap spaces with ramp access.
A shout out to Commissioner Kitt for bringing that up at the hearing. Any other commission members have comments? Can we put it to a vote? All those in favor, please raise your hand. See 7, so it passes unanimously. Moving on to 750 Taymor Drive, special exception application of St. Catherine Center for special needs pertaining to an addition to an existing school in the R3 zone. Mr. Wendt?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, St. Catherine Center for Special Needs was established on the Holy Cross Church campus by special exception approved by this commission in 2005. The school is now seeking approval for a 6,400 square foot addition to accommodate additional programmatic space, therapeutic and exercise space, bathrooms, offices, and storage. The addition is intended to enhance existing programs rather than increase enrollment. As the proposed additional occupied space currently used for parking, the parking area will be enlarged with a net increase of 1 parking space. The engineering department has reported that the drainage design meets their specifications. We also have a report from the fire marshal confirming adequate access for fire response. The relevant considerations for a special exception are, number 1, is the location, type, character, and size of use in buildings in harmony with and conform to the appropriate and orderly development of the town and neighborhood, not hinder or discourage use of adjacent property or impair its value. 2 is the nature and location of the use in buildings such that there is adequate access for fire protection. 3 are the streets serving the proposed use adequate to carry prospective traffic. 4 is the proposed use in compliance with the plan of conservation and development. That's subject to questions. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
May I have a motion on the item?
Move to approve.
Commissioner Francis approves, second, Commissioner Ford. Commissioner Francis?
I find this project to be an excellent use of the redesigned parking space on the diocesan campus, having the full support of the adjoining Holy Cross Church community. This addition will enable St. Catherine's Center to offer a stronger, higher quality, and more effective program to its small student population with no impact on the surrounding neighborhood. Increased instructional program areas, life skills training, recreation opportunities, and restroom spaces will now be available to the clients, with storage and operational areas added for the staff and administrators. The plans comply with our POCD in that they harmonize with the neighborhood, protect property values, and preserve the appearance and beauty of the area. This expansion project will be beneficial to the town and meet the needs of the students striving to enrich their lives. I fully support this application and encourage my fellow commissioners to do so. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it seems to be more of a reconfiguration. You know, I know they're adding the footprint, but they are not adding students. At least that's their intent today. So I thought that was compelling. So you don't see an increase in traffic. You probably see more efficient setup on the campus. And then so in that sense, it still fits in harmony with the neighborhood, despite the few neighbors' objections. Fire access, I don't think is an issue here. I think I already talked about traffic, and I think it's in compliance with the plan of conservation and development. And socially, this meets a underserved population of our community. So I think we should do what we can to support it. So I urge everyone to support this application.
Commissioner Harrison?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that we saw after our last meeting that there was a draft permit or something. Did that rectify with the Conservation Commission or department?
Yeah, the certificate of wellness conformance, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, so,
Anything else, Commissioner Harrison?
no, that was it.
Commissioner Braun?
yeah, so I'm going to support this application. I initially had misgivings because there was no wetlands permit, but I've read the certificate of wetlands conformance, and I'm pleased that it was acquired. Also, they answered my questions about trees. There will be trees replaced for every tree removed. I would, as an aside, not as a condition, just recommend that tree cutting be done outside of nesting season, and that care be taken to make sure that there's proper screening of the neighbors that complained about this. I do not believe this will affect property values because I think it's a very small footprint, almost within the confines of the existing, building structure, and they're only adding one parking space. So I don't believe in it's an expansion, but I do think it would certainly help in the neighborhood to just go beyond, if necessary, to make sure the trees adequately screen the neighbors. So I will support this application. Thank you.
Commissioner Berman?
Just very briefly, obviously, I agree with everything that has been said, and I don't want to repeat too much. Very worthy cause that's being served here by this institution. The reconfiguration of the parking and landscaping it makes sense and it's pleasing. No incremental additional traffic is going to be generated because there's no increase in the student body. It's a reconfiguration of the space, as Commissioner Ford said, and enhancement of their ability to serve their existing student population. And while I did definitely hear and observe carefully the neighbors' concerns, I don't think that the development will impair property values or increase traffic congestion or have any other negative secondary effects to the neighborhood.
Other commissioners? I mean, briefly, I echo the sentiments expressed. It certainly meets the conditions that we have. It's a great application, a great expansion of a great use, a testament to the people working for that great facility. It was somewhat new to me, so it's great to hear that we have this in our back door and have such dedicated people there. I mean, I'm proud of it as a Fairfield citizen. I hope you're proud of it too. we put it to a vote? All in favor, please raise your hand. Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Moving on to our public hearing is, I understand, was it Center Street, Mr. Went, that has, requested an adjournment?
Yes, a postponement, yes, sir.
Postponement, sorry. So I'll call the first item, 1252 Pequod Avenue, subdivision and coastal site plan application of Polly, Barry, and Richard Clarida for 2 lots in an R3 zone. I don't see many people, certainly not here, live, but online, but should anybody in the public wish to comment during the public comment section, please, and you're in the WebEx, please sign in the chat feature. But Attorney Fitzpatrick, it's good to see you.
Chairman, members of the commission, nice to see you face to face again. For the record, my name is Bill Fitzpatrick. I'm an attorney in Fairfield with the law firm of Russo and Rizzio, with offices at 10 Sasko Hill Road. Here tonight representing Polly, Barry, and Richard Clarida, owners of the property at 1252 Pequod Avenue. This property is located on the northerly side of Pequod Ave, opposite Southport Beach. The property is located in the R3 zoning district, which has a minimum lot area requirement of 20,000 square feet. Property here includes an existing single-family home constructed in 1929 with a pool and patio to the west of the house. The existing property contains 90,863 square feet. The intent of the application before the commission tonight is a 2-lot subdivision. Proposal subdivides the parcel into 2 parcels. Lot A, containing the existing house, which would comprise 50,862 square feet, and proposed Lot B, which is a 40,001 square foot lot for a new home. Please note, the proposed Lot A, containing the existing home, is 2.5 times larger than the minimum lot area of 20,000 square feet for the R3 zone, and proposed Lot B is twice the minimum lot area requirement for the R3 zone. The creation of Lot B, the new lot, requires the demolition of the existing pool and surrounding patio. Proposed Lot B includes a pro forma or conceptual new home with a 2,400 square foot footprint and an associated septic system and on-site stormwater detention system. Proposed Lot A, which will include the existing home, complies in all relevant respects with the applicable zoning regulations, including lot size, square, setbacks, coverage, and floor area ratio. Similarly, Lot B, the proposed lot, complies with all relevant zoning regulations and subdivision regulations, including lot size, square, coverage, and floor area ratio, as well as setbacks for the conceptual new home shown. The subdivision application was forwarded to the town engineering department for review. The updated comments that I have seen from the engineering department indicate no issues. This matter also required coastal area management site plan review. The relevant application was prepared and submitted. That application was reviewed by the Land and Water Resources Division of the DEEP. The report from the DEEP in your file states, quote, although the subject site contains coastal flood hazard area, we note that the footprint of the new residence is proposed on shorelands outside of the coastal flood hazard area. Thus, development of the subdivided lot can occur without resulting in any increased hazard to life and property, and the proposed subdivision is consistent with the CCMA. Subsequent development of the new subdivided lot will require coastal site plan review to ensure the subdivided parcel can accommodate a septic system and that potential water quality impacts from stormwater are addressed, end quote. The report concludes the proposal is consistent with all applicable coastal policies. The Town of Fairfield Zoning Department also prepared a coastal area management site plan review. This review, prepared by Emmeline Harrigan, states that the measures proposed by the mitigation planting plan submitted should adequately protect all adjacent coastal resources. The staff report further recommends following conditions on page 2, which are acceptable to the applicant, and concludes that the activity as proposed is consistent with the coastal resources provided in erosion control measures and FEMA guidelines are employed during any construction, and provided that there is health department approval for the new septic system when proposed. These conditions are standard and are certainly fully acceptable to the applicant. The review of a subdivision application by the Commission is different from the standard of review applicable to the special exception and special permit applications the Commission often sees. Connecticut case law, specifically Reed versus Plan and Zoning Commission of the Town of Chester, a 1988 case, 208 Connecticut 431, states a planning commission acting in its administrative capacity has no discretion or choice but to approve a subdivision if it conforms to the regulations adopted for its guidance. I think the application here is relatively straightforward. There's no road construction proposed. There's public water available. The septic system on site will be reviewed by the Department of Health. I think the record before the Commission confirms these proposed lots are oversized, comply with all relevant subdivision regs. For the reasons I've outlined, I'd request the 2-lot subdivision application be approved, as well as the coastal site plan application. The project engineer, Wayne DeVanzo, is on the line, as is Alexandra Mock, who prepared the coastal site plan application, as is my client, Polly Berry, and they and I would be happy to answer any questions the Commission may have.
Any questions from the Commission? Commissioner Braun.
I'm doing this from memory because I don't have it in front of me, but I saw something about the stormwater detention being for the 25-year storm. Could you explain that? Because don't we usually make it for the 100-year storm?
All I know, and if it's necessary, we can go to...
Wayne's here.
Hold on one second, please.
This was reviewed by Laura Pooley before she left, I assume?
Engineering approved this, and in your file is an okay. It wasn't from Laura, it's from the new sheriff in town, in that department. But they approved it, so I don't think there's any difficulty with that.
And the there's an open space area adjacent to the other side of, the existing house is staying.
Correct.
This is sort of away from the water on the other side, right?
Well, it's really west.
Yes, away from the ocean. And so I saw an open space area down there. Is this at all, it's not abutting the open space, there's an open space area right near there?
There is not. It's a Google map error.
Oh, really?
It's just, that's my front lawn.
That large thing that says Southgate Open Space,
That's my lawn.
that's not where the subdivision's going. It's going behind on the other
There's
side.
no open space.
Do you ever have people coming to picnic there?
No, well, other than my relatives. But, and the occasional, no, but it's not an open space, never been one, it's just a Google map error.
Interesting. Okay, and the coastal site review that Ms. Harrigan did, there were a couple of conditions of approval. I assume that that's something that...
I have no objection. We have no objection to those.
Okay, thank you.
And for the record, that was the applicant again.
That is my client, Polly Berry,
Thank you very much.
the irrepressible.
No.
Do we have, the mitigation planting plan in our, application materials? I was just curious.
You do. It's part of the CAM, the coastal site plan.
Okay. I was just curious about the native plantings. I'm pleased that, obviously, as we often require, the native plantings will be replaced.
It's right there.
Very good. Yeah, I recall seeing that. And just as an aside, I understand that this is an entirely non-sewered area.
Yes.
That's all I have.
I have a hard copy here, Commissioner.
Oh, thank you.
Any other commissioners have questions for the applicants?
Regarding the plantings, can I assume as many trees as, I don't see a lot of trees on the property to begin with, but I assume as many trees as are being cut are being replaced in your planting plan, we're not having a net loss of trees?
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Or any other commissioners? Okay,
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
thank you,
Thank you.
Attorney Fitzpatrick. The initial, presentation, is closed. We now go to public comments. There's nobody in live with us. Is there any member of the public on WebEx, on the remote feature, that wishes to be heard on this matter? I assume nobody's in chat, Ms. Harrigan?
I don't see anybody on chat, but if you could just remind them to press *6 to unmute themselves if they're on a phone line.
Thank you. And to anybody, again, who's out on WebEx or the remote feature and you're calling in, please hit *6 to unmute yourself. Does anybody any member of the public wish to be heard on this application? Once and twice. Okay. Public comments is over. No need.
Nothing further, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman.
No need for rebuttal, so I will close the, hearing on this application. Again, Mr. Went, 92 Center Street is.
92 Center Street has been requested for postponement. The applicant is
Okay.
to continue a dialogue with concerned neighbors.
Which is always appreciated, so, with that being our last item, I will close the hearing for this evening. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you.
That was an easy one.